Hello everybody, Zach here. Welcome to NASCAR Heat Evolution. And this is an overview slash first look at NASCAR Heat Evolution. So this is the newest NASCAR game from Duesenberry Martin Racing. Just came out today. And I wanted to talk to you guys about it. So the NASCAR games in the recent years have been not the best. There is iRacing, but it's kind of in a league of its own. You're paying a lot for everything. You're paying a lot for a simulation, and you're paying a lot for equipment involved and what have you. So it kind of puts itself into its own category. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people comparing that to this, and that's not exactly what this is. This has both has the abilities to be both, though. It's first and foremost an arcade racer in NASCAR, and nails all of the things that are in NASCAR. But you also have the ability to go into full damage and turn on simulation physics and a couple other different things, and use a wheel. Today I'm going to be talking about using a controller, because that's my first play with the game is with a controller. I'm going to be showing some things on the screen here, like career mode, which is actually probably one of the good things that has come out of this. So let's just go through real quick the pros and cons of a game like this. So this is the first iteration, essentially, inside of the Unity engine. And the graphics are good. They could be better. But here's the but in there. First iteration using this engine, as well as overall performance is good. The things that I would improve on the graphical side would be the overall anti-aliasing, and then how the draw distance and some of the shadows work. Other than that, a pretty good game in terms of graphic fidelity. Like I said, not perfect, but it runs on my machine, which isn't anything crazy. It runs at a pretty consistent 60 frames per second. And works low. There was a couple little micro stutters. Other than that, though, it ran pretty well. So I'm kind of starting off with the negatives here, but I want to get into the positive and showcase a bunch of the good things that this first iteration from Duesenberry Martin Racing of this new engine and of a much better menu system and all that. I'm trying to think what else is not perfect. I mean, there could be a lot of things that are expanded on, but that's the thing. First iteration, the menu system's a lot better. The load times are very quick. And, of course, there's a lot more depth that can be put in here at a later time that maybe do not come with this iteration of the game, but I look forward to getting them down the road. This has a very early on, the feelings from this game are very much so when I was a kid and played the EA NASCAR games. It just feels overall a lot like those games to me, which those were not perfect, but they took steps year after year, making it a much more deep game and making the career mode much more deep and having actual rivals and what have you. I always liked that kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. There's not many negatives to me. There's going to be a lot of people that nitpick this as a simulation and nitpick this as we need this to compete with iRacing. We need this to compete with simulators out there. I don't think it's going to do that for you. I really don't. The other nitpick I would have is overall sound and sound quality. I feel like it could be better. Is it bad? I don't know if I can say bad, but it could be better. Definitely expecting some better audio fidelity out of this game. In a game that comes out in 2016, I would expect better sound, but it's one of those things where it's almost comparable to, they nailed a lot of the other stuff, and it's like Gran Turismo with its sound. Every car sounds like a lawnmower. These don't sound like lawnmowers, but they all sound the same. They're NASCARs, but the graphical fidelity doesn't feel there. Definitely when you push up into higher volume, I want to feel the noise just like, I don't know, I want to hear it and it hurt my ears almost, if that sounds like it makes any sense. And it just doesn't. But again, not perfect, but I can only assume that they're working on some of these things too, and they want honest feedback, it seems, from the community, and they want to make this right. They want to put the NASCAR games in the right direction. Okay, so that's kind of all the bad, even though I had a little bit of good in there. The good would be the AI is actually really good and doesn't just wreck you out, doesn't just drive like absolute garbage. It races hard and races well on, you know, even like normal difficulty in career mode. I was actually struggling. And this is, of course, with the Xbox 360 controller and stuff. I will definitely be doing gameplay videos of this and showing with wheel racing. Wheel racing. No, but I'll be showing it with an actual wheel and doing that kind of thing. And maybe that'll be better. Maybe that'll be a lot better. I know Jeff said that he had way more control with the wheel, and it felt a lot better. The racing's really tight. Hopefully the footage I can show you right now. Definitely at the starts of the race, really tight, and you are side to side with people. And I know too, with a little bit of the twitchness that I have, I was definitely bumping up against other people, but they handle it well enough. I definitely spun some people out and bumped around with some other drivers, but they handle it well enough that I don't go, oh, of course, I bumped into them slightly, they're going to spin out, or I'm going to spin out by being bumped by them slightly too. So, you know, it's all about finding that balance in between a arcade and simulation that will also too introduce this game to a lot of different people. NASCAR is something that I have always loved as a kid and growing up, and I feel like it's one of those things that EA did it back in the day. They created really good NASCAR games, and we've struggled to have a really good NASCAR game in a long time now. So maybe it's me being more optimistic and me looking for the good in here, but I feel like there's a lot of good. The next thing would be the career mode, which is cool in its own right. It allows you to go through, you know, career mode and be your own driver. And you have 2 races where in the beginning where you want to be under or you want to finish above 30th to get a consideration for sponsorship and what have you. And I did that in both the races, which almost was harder than it should be. But I did that and I got a sponsorship with Moog. And then we went on to race. And after you do those first 2 races, which are short, they're fixed. You can't adjust the lap, the amount of laps and all that stuff and the percentage of race you're actually doing. Once you do that, you go into the regular career, and then you can adjust that stuff. So I put it up the percentage a little bit higher and did full damage and all that stuff. And, you know, it's not easy. Even in the arcade mode, it's not easy. So that's good to me, that it's not easy and it's not just point and go. You know, a lot of people assume too about NASCAR is it's just left turns. Just left turns. No, it's not just left turns. There's a lot of stuff in the car. And that's the thing too with this game. I don't have a thing of it here, but like you could actually go in and do car setup and have all the options for car setup too. So you can really get in certain ways in depth with this game, and that is really good. So I think that's going to be it. This is, like I said, a short, quick overview and takeaway, and first impressions of NASCAR Heat Evolution. I think it's a step in the right direction. That's my big thing. This is a step in the right direction, and we've needed this. I know a lot of people are going to be judging it on a couple different things, and I'm not saying you are fully able to do so. But this could be the step in the right direction we've needed for a long time. And I know not everybody's going to agree with me. But I can justify the price. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. And if you're not able to do that, wait for a Steam sale or wait for it to go on sale. The game will still exist. If you don't want to put your hard-earned money into it early on, the game will still exist. I know that these guys, from what Jeff has said, they are going to support this game, and they are going to support the development and making things right by the community. So I'm glad to hear all those things. I'm glad to have a developer behind the game. Also, too, just as an FYI, I'm not paid or not been paid or sponsored in any way to create this video. This is all legitimately my opinion, and I bought the game on Steam and actually released a little early in the US, if you want to say. It released a little early in the US because I think they released it for another time zone prior. So, yeah, this is only with a few hours of gameplay, so some things could change. But look forward also to some gameplay videos here in the near future. You can maybe even better judge for yourself if this is a game you want to pick up. And hopefully my opinion today has helped you if it's something you are considering. And also some of this footage too. Like I said, this game is not going to be for everyone. It's not a simulation. The too long didn't watch version, if you skipped over till the end, maybe to see if I like did some number type scheme or whatever, is good. It's like I said, a step in the right direction. Perfect? No, but I didn't expect that out of it. And we have to understand that a small studio or smaller studio, and with this first iteration, this legitimate first iteration of a new NASCAR game, it's going to be difficult, and they did a good job to me. And a person that's a fan of NASCAR, they did a good job. So, all right, so I look forward to seeing you in the gameplay videos potentially later this week. And until then, have a good one. Bye.